guys in a couple of different countries have a couple of beers, maybe more than a couple on a good night, and discuss a stadium somewhere in the world and their experiences there. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And we are excited to be here with you tonight. Before we get started, some boilerplate stuff. Please make sure to subscribe to the Stadium Journey YouTube channel, like the video, and leave a comment. The official Stadium Journey review of today's venue can be found at stadiumjourney.com, or take the shortcut, click the link in the comments below. So let's get rolling. Dave, what are you drinking today?
So tonight I have a remnant from a trip to North Bay. I discovered a little brewery that I just went there just to buy some beers so I could bring it on Obstructed Views. So it was to Gateway City for the Northern Bell, and it is a Triticale smoked Helles. So
I was trying to read what it said, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Triticale means, but it definitely has a kind of smoky flavor to it, which is refreshing. And a Helles is pretty light, a little citrusy, right? So it's probably one of the most unique beers that I've had yet. And on my Untapped score, I think I've scored it about a 4.75, which is about as high as you can go without being perfect. So
nice. So it delivers.
What do you got?
I am glad you're sitting down for this, Dave, because in the past on our Obstructed Views, you've talked about how I have basically trotted out. I think this is show 31 for Obstructed Views. You've commented on how I have trotted out on like 30 different varieties of the same beer. And yeah, you know what? I like my Pilsners and stuff like that. I'm not going to apologize. Today I have an APA.
Ooh.
From South Kingston, Rhode Island, Whalers Brewery in South Kingston. I was at URI this weekend and they featured this beer. So this is one of the only APAs that I will drink. This is actually a really good one. Whalers Rise, it's called, from South Kingston, Rhode Island, Whalers Brewery. So,
okay,
good stuff for me, and it's local, so it's got that going for it. If we were visiting today's destination, you're the teacher, not me. If we were visiting today's destination, he tried to say, we might be drinking a sizzling hippie from the Thomas Hooker Brewery in Hartford, Connecticut, because today we are talking about Pratt and Whitney Field at Rentschler Stadium, the home of UConn Huskies football. Before we dive in, let's take a look at the stadium vitals. So for those of you who are paying attention to the stadium vitals, you'll notice that I reversed the name of the stadium and the field. It is actually Pratt and Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. I've only been there about a dozen times, so you can't expect me to get it right. And Dave's been there once and he got it right, so he corrected me. But anyway, for those of you who have been following along the New England Patriots, what do the Patriots have to do with UConn football? I'm going to tell you. Back when Robert Kraft was looking to build a new stadium to replace old Foxborough Stadium, he kind of shopped the Patriots around to all the cities in New England and actually signed a deal with Hartford at one point to build a $374 million stadium complex right on the Connecticut River in downtown Hartford. Now, obviously, that deal fell through for... Actually, the official reason, I think, was that it would cost too much to clean up the land. It was a Superfund site, I guess. So the consolation prize for UConn football was an open air field in East Hartford, on the other side, outside of the city, obviously, for those of you who've been there. And, in an old abandoned airstrip where they used to test and build jet engines back in World War II. Run by Pratt and Whitney. They donated the land, built the stadium there. The stadium is 21 miles away from campus. So Dave, this consolation prize, I called it a booby prize when we were talking about this before. So now we're rated PG-13. So is this a good consolation prize for the fans of UConn football?
Well, I think it's fair to say it's not the most ideal prize. If you are a fan of UConn football, you probably want to watch football maybe in stores like right by where the campus is. However, let's be real, like UConn has a very strong connection with Hartford. The biggest UConn Huskies basketball games are all played at the XL Center in Hartford downtown. There's a great obstructed views on that one, which you should watch definitely because we're in it, because we're in all of them. But yeah, it's
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, perfect. If you're not going to self-promote, who is? But it's not ideal, I guess, for students. It would be better if it was closer. Being a product of the early aughts, it wasn't in that kind of downtown era. It has that feel of like a Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, or a stadium like that where it's in the middle of nowhere. There's a whole lot of nothing around it, parking lots, not even parking grass
lots. Yeah, the old airfields. I don't know how they used to take off and land planes on all that grass. I don't know.
So, but on the flip side, you're getting free land, so it can't be that bad. It's an interesting spot. It's with a capacity of 38,000, probably good for UConn. Right now it's a little on the low side. Our friend Gregory Koch has informed, I think, both of us a couple of times that in 2022, the attendance has gone up significantly.
Well, the team has gone in 2021. The team was running neck and neck with UMass as the worst college team in the country.
Yeah.
Avoided that title barely, I think. This year in 2022, when we're recording this, they're actually 6-6 right now, so could end up in a bowl.
Yeah, and the game that I was at actually made them bowl eligible because they beat Liberty, which was a pretty huge upset for them because Liberty was ranked at the time, and as an independent too, right? So yeah, pretty exciting. Jim Lloyd pointed out to us that Jim Mora Jr., former Falcons head coach, is now the head coach at UConn. So, I guess the point was that the capacity is about right for that kind of program. It's, what kind of alternatives would they have, to play in Foxborough or something like that? Or I have no idea where they used to play before this.
I can answer that question. They used to play on campus in they used to be a AA team for a long time in the Yankee Conference, which was made up of a lot of New England schools, who are now mostly FCS schools. So like you had your UMass, URI, New Hampshire, Maine, those kind of schools in that conference. They played a little old wooden, it was called Memorial Stadium, probably seated 20,000, if that. So when they decided, the powers that be decided, we're going to make the jump up to the big time. We need a new stadium. Tied in with the Patriots, that downtown thing we talked about earlier was going to be for the Patriots and the Huskies. When that fell through, the state made this deal to build Rentschler Field.
Yeah, and as a college facility, it's not fancy. You've got the one side that has the press box and everything. It's probably the nicest part of the exterior. You have your suites in there, your press box. I don't know, maybe some offices or something like that. So that part is kind of nice. And then the rest, it jumps out at you right away that there's a whole lot of concrete in this place, right? Reminded me kind of Rogers Center, because there is so much exposed concrete, and it's a bit of a turnoff. Now, for, I believe, some, political / protest reasons, the game that I was at against Liberty was not overly well attended. It was only about 15,000. So there was a lot of concrete you can see from your seat.
Yeah. I've been to probably 5 or 6 or 7 games there, and that's pretty much a typical crowd for the ones I've been to over the years. I go basically every other year. Well, yeah, about every other year. And I've been there actually for some lacrosse Final Fours as well, and I've been there for another event, something I forget. Oh, I went to an outdoor hockey game there.
Nice.
And Yeah, that's even for the lacrosse Final Four, it wasn't sold out. So pretty typical kind of crowd.
2022, they've been averaging over 20,000. So, it is quite a significant jump. But I did have to step back and question, what am I really comparing UConn to, right?
Where's its peers, right?
I shouldn't be thinking about it as like the Big House or Neyland Stadium, or even like maybe something that's a little bit more in their wheelhouse. It shouldn't be compared to like Boston College Alumni Stadium, right? They're 1A or
easy comparison because there are only 3 FBS teams in all of New England.
Right. So they are FBS, but they're in the next 5. They're not in the Power 5.
Right.
So, you're thinking about MAC schools and Conference USA schools and stuff like that. And is it that different? I've been to a lot of MAC schools. Maybe that's about it. As a structure, it's compared to the MAC schools, it'd be one of the best ones, right? Those schools are a lot of piecemeal kind of, okay, we're going to build a little mini grandstand and throw in some semi-temporary bleachers over here and semi-temporary bleachers over here. And you can sit in your seat and go, oh, okay, addition. So it was nice to see like a fully formed stadium. If there was 35, 37, 38,000 there, you wouldn't notice all the concrete at all. So that part, you got to take a step back and you're like, okay, we're not talking Power 5 here. We're talking the other group. There are some things that I think are kind of neat. If you're a plain person, you can walk around and catch the history of Pratt and Whitney, which I thought was kind of cool. Probably something they insisted on, having donated all the land or whatnot. But there's nothing wrong with that. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Not exactly the easiest information to find, but if you're inside the stadium, you look back at the girders. There they are. Yeah, the history of the aviation at the site. It was a very big aircraft and testing facility back around the World War II time.
Yeah. Some of the other stuff they college football, all about the traditions. So they got the victory bell, which I kind of like. It's sneaky hidden though. You could see it on the video board, and it took me a really long time to figure out where it was on the ground, mainly because I was looking on the ground, and it's not really on the ground. It's actually hung just above the field on the like the facade where the band is. So one of the band members comes and rings the bell when they score. And I think they ring a bell for every point. So, 30, 36, 33, the final score, there was a lot of bells going off on the end there. I will say that one of the things that kind of surprised me in the negative was the student section. It was apparently it was there. I didn't notice.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the issue when your football stadium is 21 miles away from your campus and the team has not been successful for several years. So
yeah,
it's kind of dampened the enthusiasm. I have been there when there's been a robust student section. I've never seen it packed and rowdy. I have seen it, with a good turnout, and yeah, it doesn't they don't add a whole lot to the atmosphere, unfortunately.
Yeah, the student section itself, as I think back to it, was fairly healthily attended, but they did nothing to make you notice them as students like you would at other venues.
Right.
Now, again, did I ever notice a student section at UB Stadium at Buffalo? No. Or Eastern Michigan? No. Did I at like Toledo? Oh yeah. Or Kent State? Definitely. Central Michigan? Absolutely. So, they're kind of in that little middle spot.
Yeah. Some schools are good at it. Some schools are not as good at it.
Yeah, for sure. And what you say about being so far away from campus is absolutely true. You see it. I think Miami is probably the best example where they had a huge program, and they've kind of, I don't want to say they've fallen off, but they're not in the conversation for national championship like they were in the late 80s, early 90s kind of thing. And they play where the Dolphins play. And once the Dolphins left the Orange Bowl and then Miami left the Orange Bowl, that's a big hike from campus. And you can only do so much as a university, right? If you rent a bunch of school buses, well, you can only fit like 50 people on a bus.
True. Even if you get 6 buses.
How many buses are you getting there, right? So I know one thing that you pointed out was the food was pretty good there. And
to me, the strong point of the stadium, the experience.
Definitely, as compared to other college football venues, definitely a step above almost all of them.
With a local flavor.
Yeah. Usually college football, you're getting your regular same old dogs and drinks and
burgers and chicken fingers
and whatever.
Pizza slices.
So a lot of local stuff. There was a Ted's food truck there, Ted's Steam Cheeseburgers. So that's what my son went with. They had some Randy's Worcester Street pizza, New Haven kind of pizza. So
no, Worcester Street's not New Haven pizza.
Oh, okay. Well, it was.
But it is famous locally, and it is another one of those man versus food places we're always talking about.
There's the sausage guy. There's the Bears barbecue. I think that was your spot. So
when I'm there, I'll either hit Bears barbecue for they've got this dish where you can have it's got cornbread and mac and cheese and pulled pork or whatever meat you want on it, all mixed together, and it's fantastic. I'll either go there or Ted's steamed cheeseburger when I'm at UConn. And you know me, I'm not one to eat at the games very often. I'll usually find something local. And there's a drawback. Not a whole lot local at Rentschler Field.
Well, yeah, what's
there's
local?
Cabela's Sporting Goods, right?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Or you could go to the factory, the Pratt and Whitney factory, which is, I think, within walking distance from one edge of one of the parking lots. Because not too much is within walking distance. I will say that some of those stadiums where they are out in the middle of nowhere, they really have to work to get people in and out. And they did it at UConn. They did a great job. You come down, and what would normally be a 4-lane road, 3 of those lanes now are going in. There's pylons everywhere. Show your parking pass. Go this way. There's guys parking cars, line up so it's not like here, there, or everywhere. Getting out, same sort of thing. We're directing all the traffic in one direction, so it's not like this big, massive, traffic jam. And it moved pretty well. Actually, food, one thing I missed that Jackson and I had, Dude's Donuts. That was some good stuff. That was some good stuff. The apple pie donut.
They even got a Chick-fil-A there, and they've got
yes, they do.
And they've got City Steam, which is one of my favorite breweries in the area, runs a little stand there, and Sam Adams runs a stand. So yeah, there's plenty to eat and drink in that place. If that's what you're going there for.
And the band is good, as most bands. The cheerleaders do their thing. I was kind of hoping to see Jonathan, the live mascot version. They have a live, I think it's Jonathan the 8th now or something like that.
And spelled uniquely. It's spelled Jonathan. Jonathan, not the way you would think. I don't know why.
So I didn't get the opportunity to see him. I did see the taller, fluffier version. Was walking around.
There is a word for that, for a person dressed as an animal. Not furry, but there is a special word. I don't know. I can't think of it at this moment.
Okay.
So I'm sorry I brought it up.
But I think it's got a decent history, all things considered. It's got an interesting story to the place. It could be great. There's not too many places that have a international bowl champions poster up there. So I can say that this was not my first UConn game. I did see them play in the international bowl. They played Buffalo. So it was the the highest attended international bowl also. So they're a pretty up and down kind of program, and
on the way back up, fortunately.
Yeah, I'm what would it be like if they had a little bit more solid success?
Well, at the beginning of the program, they had several years in a row where they went to bowls and won conference titles, and they actually had Michigan come visit one time. And the south end zone where it's pretty open, they had temporary bleachers put in to increase the capacity up to about 41,000 and sold the place out. So that would have been a game to go to. But so, I mean, going from the depths where they were for a few years and now to be bowl eligible in 2022, program's on the rise. So maybe Rentschler Field will be a place to go. There's not many places in New England to go for FBS football. So,
and take it, it's not, it's a good afternoon. Have some fun. I think I had more fun than the people around me because, man, did they complain about everything. every call made, every play called, every call missed. Oh boy.
You think going from 1-10 to 6-6, they would be happy.
You'd think, but I don't know. Maybe that's the spoiled Patriots, fan.
See, Hartford are not Patriots fans, though. See, that's on the other side of the New England dividing line. That's New York City territory right there.
Yeah, but are they?
Yeah, especially since the Patriots jilted them way back. So,
well, but
you'll find more Giants fans than Patriots fans are.
Maybe. I don't know. I figure that since the Patriots have won so many Super Bowls, they just a lot of folks from that area would just sort of migrate north.
Possibly. And we'll welcome them on our bandwagon anytime. So.
There you go.
So that's our look at Pratt and Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field, home of the UConn Huskies. Glad you tuned in with us, and we hope to see you on the road again real soon. Cheers.
Cheers.